host, Sean Green.
Welcome to the first episode of The Coach Show. My name is Sean Green and I'll be your host for The Coach Show. The Coach Show is an educational show. It's about personalities, opinions, and certainly about environments. As coaches, we're all in the same fraternity, yet we all have different hurdles to face. We'll peek over the fence and see how other coaches around the world work and perform in their environment. Our first guest is a true success story. American-born coach Dan Gaspar is coaching in South Africa with the Portuguese national team. His resume is very impressive. He has coached on 3 continents with clubs such as Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, Grand Passate from Japan, the Metro Stars in the United States, and numerous national teams around the globe. Dan is currently the head coach at the University of Hartford, a vibrant university based in Connecticut, United States. Dan is a motivator, an educator, and a student of the game. He is also a self-promoter, but unlike many, he delivers big time, every time when it comes to performance and dedication. Because of the length of the content of Dan's show, we decided to split it into 2 shows. The other part will be shown at a later date. In this show, Dan performs several exercises that he'll be using on the Portugal goalkeepers during this World Cup. We will also sit down with Dan and get an in-depth interview about how he got to be on the national team. Also his relationship with Professor Carlos Queiroz and Felipe Scarre, and much, much more. So sit back and meet Dan Gaspar.
Assess the height of the ball, and that determines whether your feet go fast or slow. Above all, catch above your head. And play. Let's get a keeper call in there. That's half of the save. And Coach Carr, we can be a moving target as well. Yes. And turn and find it. And find it, Jordan. Good. Lift a knee for elevation. Utilize your arms to get your maximum height. Good timing. 2 more, Jordan. And come and get it. Come and get it. Good. Last one, Jordan. And well done. Way to land on both feet. Like it. Relax and rest. Recover. Coach Carr and I are going to be closer. And we're going to surf from our feet. And it's going to be low balls. Grass cutter saves. 2 services for me. 2 services from Coach Carr. Let us know when you're ready to begin. Make sure that you don't wait to receive the ball. If it's to your left, drive that left leg through. Get your arms projecting to the ball. If it's to the right, it's the opposite. Drive off that left foot. Project with your right leg. Project your hands to the ball. And we start, Jordan, we'll start off to your left, and boom. Roll it back, and up, boom. And quickly turn and get set. Good balance, good dynamic stability. And yes, jump in, up, and play. Good. And again, and again, and again. Up. Up quickly. Drop. Yes. Last one, last service. And you're up, Jordan. Hold on. And rest and recover. As you're recovering, Jordan, you'll listen to the next activity. What we're going to do now, Coach Carr, is we're going to do medium services, collapse dives. And again, the principle is the same, whether it's on the ground or in the air. If you go to your left, you draw your arms back to propel you to the side you want to go. You push off that right leg. You lead with the left. Same thing to the opposite side, but reverse order. Drive off the left, lead with your right. You have your arms to propel you forward to capture the ball. Nice and sharp, Jordan. I really want to see you roll up for the second save. Use the ball to break your fall. You let us know. And let's pass back and forth as you're recovering. A good way to recover is just active rest. Active rest. So we don't want you starting the next activity until you're 100% emotionally, physically, and mentally prepared to go. Because if you're not, then the quality drops, and now we're focusing on quantity, and that really isn't the secret to progress. It's all about quality. Since our feet are just as important as our hands, a good way to rest is just to pass back and forth. You give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, Jordan. All right, and we'll start here. And it's here. Boom. Up. Yes. Good. Turn and get set. Step in and play. Up. Good. Last two, Jordan. Make them their best. Good focus. Yes. Way to use the ball to break your fall. Well done, Jordan. And hold. Once again, I'd like to provide you with explanations as you're recovering and as you're resting. The next one is probably the most challenging of the activity of the window goal, Jordan. And what you're going to do is you're going to start on one cone. Coach Carr is going to be back with the ball on the 18. Now to get from here to here, sidestepping is not the best way to go. To get from this point to that point, you have to cross over. It's proven that's going to generate maximum speed. So once you come out of that crossover, Coach Carr is going to try to tuck the ball inside this post. You make the save, you get up, and you go this direction again. And I'll tell you when to reverse. What I'm most concerned about isn't the save as much as I am as with your effort. With effort, everything is possible. Maybe the save is not today. Maybe it's not tomorrow. Maybe it's not 3 days from now. Whenever it's supposed to happen, it will happen. But the effort will get you there. So it's maximum effort. No second chance for a first impression. So you want to be able to give your best. We can't be selective on giving our best. It's any time that we train, as you know, Jordan. And play, Jordan. Here we go. Come on. Get there. Yes. Get around the cone. Get around. Get around. Get around. Up. Get around. Get around. Get around. Go. Don't let me hit the ball. Yes. Now we reverse it, Jordan. Now we reverse it. Now we reverse it. And play. Up. Give it back to the coach. Always give the ball back to the coach. You're the one training, not me. Here we go. Up. Get there. Last one. Last one, Jordan. Yes, well done. Good finish. You know, obviously with the window goal, you're limited to your imagination. We've covered some basic saves, but we can add pressure. We can add more servers. We can increase the intensity by adding more repetition. So really, the window goal is limited to your imagination. This activity is named the Brazilian footwork. And I like it because good goalkeepers have to be good dancers. And good dancers don't look at their feet when they're dancing. They have to be free of their feet. And this requires them to look up, see the field, because vision is so important to the art of goalkeeping. And there's all methods of vision. There's depth perception, there's peripheral, there's ocular vision. So in this particular activity, you'll be able to see that we'll be able to work with the feet, low balls, medium balls, high balls, full extensions, and even to breakaway saves. Coach Carr, we're going to start off with playing with your feet. Make sure you don't look down at your feet. You're looking straight ahead. Keep your hips, shoulders, head square to the field. And play. Yes. And touch. Here, face the field. Good. Working on your left foot and right foot. Okay, Coach Carr, you can hold it there. We're going to get a little bit closer, Jordan. And this time, Coach Carr, we're going to volley into you. So take the ball, make it disappear, swallow the ball into your body. Magic object is yours when you're in control of it. Play. That's it. Keep it square. Slide out of there, body behind the ball. Elbows in, chest and head over the top of the ball. Good touch. And we have two more. Yep, step in, starting position and then saving position. When you come out of here, you step forward and get set. Last one. And good hold. And Coach Carr, next one is medium collapse dive. Same footwork. You're starting on that side and I'll be the first server. Make sure you utilize the ball to break your fall. When you come out of that triangle, step into the save. Never wait for the ball. Attack the ball, and play. And you come here, boom, good. Ball breaks your fall, back up with that three-point stance, well done. Good. Last one. Quick break, Coach Carr. What we're going to do now is send you flying a little bit. You're warmed up. Heart rate is up. So when you come out of here, we're going to serve Jordan to get him extending, to get his body off the ground. And we'll see the difference in the mechanics of how he decides to make that save. Coach Carr, you allow us to tell us when to play. And Jordan, you can pass the ball back and forth to Coach Carr, so it's an active rest. So once again, it's an activity that's limited to your imagination on the number of things that you would want to achieve from it. Most important thing is goalkeeper has to be dynamic, has to be moving, has to be light on his feet. The days of putting the worst athlete in goal is old school. Now you'll find oftentimes that the best athlete is your goalkeeper. And here we go, Coach. We got to find his range. Good, well done. And in service, the activity is only as good as the quality of the service. Poor service, poor activity. Quality service, good activity. And here it's about a dance between the goalkeeper coach and the goalkeeper. Finding his range. Forming a harmony. He wears my skin, I wear his skin. And the last one, and I'm going to send you, Coach Carr, I'm going to send you. Here we go, here we go. And get there, yes! Good decision to touch it away. Well done, and hold. The next activity is called the Gaspar's Pit. And what we've done is designed a grid with 4 balls in this case. And it's 8 yards by 8 yards by 8 by 8. And there's 2 phases to this activity. The first phase is the number that I call, that's the number of saves the goalkeeper makes. Random balls that he can save. The next phase is I'll assign a number to a ball, which means now he has to think of what ball was assigned that number and then attack it like a breakaway save. We're also going to imagine that this is an island and there's an ocean around it full of sharks, and after he makes the number of saves, then I'll toss in a ball that has to remain on that island. We have an island, an imaginary island. Outside this island is an ocean full of sharks, and you have to prevent this ball from escaping the island, because then you're going to jump into the ocean, and guess what? Sharks love goalkeepers, man. They love goalkeepers. Their favorite food. So make sure this ball doesn't go off that island. We start on 1. Up! Yes! Get there, yes! And up! 2! Keeper call, my man. That's half of the save. Yes! Don't let it off the island! Good. One more. Because I love you, you got 4. Come on. Here we go. Push it. Extend early. Attack early. Project your body early. Don't wait until you get there. Now!
it up, find it.
Don't let it out of the island! Well done. And you're up, Jordan. As you're recovering, we're passing, and you have to remain your focus by listening. Goalkeeping is a complicated position with a lot of distractions, and you have to sort through all those distractions. You have to filter all that out and make the correct decision because your team is counting on it. 1, get there. Good. Don't let it off the island. Good. Up. Up. Hey, 3. Ah, that hesitation. Ah, the hesitation. You hesitate, you're dead. Up. Think clearly. Don't listen to me. Don't look at me. 4. Ah, see? Come on. Come on, Jordan. You're a great student athlete now. Use your mental capacity. 1, get there. Good. Good. Come on. Come on. It's a verbal cue, not a physical cue. Last 1. 3, go. Good. Now you got it. Now you're on the same page. Don't let it out. Well done. And relax. Great effort. Pound it here. Good. Rest. See, assess, send it, and execute. The average goalkeepers, they see, they assess, but by the time they execute the decision, the play is over. So with practice, regardless of where I point, whether it's the correct ball or the incorrect ball, you're not going to allow me to influence your decision. It's no different than the game. A field player comes down at you, it's a confrontation between you. He's going to try to sell you something that's contrary to his decision. He might sell it to you with his eyes. He might sell it to you with your body language. So you have to be able to focus on what's important, the magic object. The magic object is the ball. Nothing else matters. Focusing on the ball. Because inside that ball are your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. That has to be an extension of your personality. That has to be part of you. The ball needs to be your best friend.
We're here with Dan Gaspar. Danny, what a great practice session you've just put on. It's evident to me that you have a special bond with the goalkeepers that you coach. Can you tell me, are relationships the most important thing for you as a coach?
I think it's a key factor. In order to be a goalkeeper or any athlete or of any sport, you have to be passionate. You have to be immersed in the activities and in the art of, in this case, goalkeeping. So if you have this desire to be the best that you can be, then you really need to understand that every day is the World Cup, every day is the Olympic, every day is that dream and that target that you've set out to try to achieve. That has to be in the forefront of your mind once you cross that line. So when I'm training with the goalkeepers, I'm trying to wear their skin, they're trying to wear my skin. I challenge them, I motivate them, I try to allow them to understand that their limits are really set by their own boundaries. I look for effort, maximum effort. I'm not concerned about the save that day, that moment, that activity, but I know with effort that successful save will come when they most need it the most, and as well as our team.
Is mental toughness more important for a goalkeeper than a midfield player?
I don't know if it's more important, but I do know that it's a special skill that a goalkeeper needs to have. I mean, if you think of the position of goalkeeping, as we all know, one critical mistake could be the loss of points, the loss of the match. One great save could be the accumulation of points. That distance between that goal line to the end of the back of that net is very short, Sean. But if you're a goalkeeper picking the ball at the end of the net, it's a long journey. And you go through all kinds of emotions, the humiliation, the embarrassment, your heart rate picks up, your shoulders drop, your head gets heavy, your feet are sluggish. So it's something that a goalkeeper needs to process like any other skill, and how to rebound from mistakes, how to cope from mistakes, because your team is still counting on you after you concede that goal.
Mike Krzyzewski, the Duke coach who just won a national championship in basketball, was recently asked, what do the greatest coaches have in common when they enter the locker room? He says, what advantage do the greatest coaches have? And his answer was instant respect. Everything that I say, they believe. Mm-hmm. I get that sense with your goalkeepers, that when you're training them, they look in the eye, the reputation that you've developed as one of the world's best brings that credibility. Has that helped you?
Oh, absolutely. It gives you the credibility. With today's day and age and the internet, you Google, you can find out anything you'd like about an individual. And the student athletes are no different, or goalkeepers that I train with are no different. They understand where I've been, they understand what I've accomplished, and I've been fortunate to work on 3 different continents with world-class athletes in first-class environments. But I have to say this, Sean, and it's really important, that really my success is a tribute to those people I've been fortunate to be surrounded by. People who gave me courage to pursue my dreams, people who allowed me to learn and grow, people who inspired me, people who gave me opportunities, who trust me unconditionally. So anything that I'm able to achieve, I do 2 things. Number 1, I pay tribute to them. I give them a call. I write them a note. And then secondly, I always go back to my roots. Whether when I was a young boy as a goalkeeper, I'd go back to the park. I'd go back to the time I threw the ball off the tree. I'd give my dad a call. Anything that demonstrates where I've been and how grateful where I am today.
Well, I'm sure all those people too who've impacted your life, Dan, are going to be so proud that when you embark on this journey in a couple of weeks. As we know, you've been selected as a national team member, staff member for the Portuguese national team. You'll be participating in this World Cup here. For our viewers worldwide, explain to them, how does a college coach get involved with a world-class team, the best team in the world? How did you get the job as the goalkeeping coach for the Portuguese national team?
Well, it's certainly unique, and it's a great story. Back in 1993, the Portuguese national team was invited to participate in the U.S. Open Cup. And the other teams involved in that tournament was Italy, Ireland, USA, and of course Portugal. Portugal's match against Italy was hosted at the Yale Bowl. And the U.S. Soccer Federation needed a liaison between them and the Portuguese national team, and I was selected to be that person on behalf of the Portuguese Club of Hartford. And what did that mean? As a project manager, it meant attention to detail as soon as they arrived at the airport, transportation, training needs, making them feel welcome and part of the Portuguese community. And during that experience, I had the opportunity to talk to Professor Carlos Queiroz, who's a former goalkeeper, which few people know. And we discussed about the lack of vision and plan in Portugal to really have a professional system to develop goalkeepers. So in sharing my dreams and my vision, he felt that there was a need. Now, it wasn't an easy task to go back to the Portuguese Federation and try to convince them that an American was coming to help guide and direct their Portuguese goalkeeping development program. And he was able to persuade them. I'm extremely grateful that he gave me that opportunity. And from that point on, since '93, we've worked on a number of projects together. But that's how it initiated. And I was persistent. I didn't listen to the experts, Sean. They would tell me, you're crazy. It's never going to happen. But I believed in my abilities, my capabilities. I was passionate about what I was doing. And I sacrificed a great deal along with my family and my loved ones. And I was given the opportunity, and I seized the moment.
What was your first game for Portugal?
It was against Italy. I was with the U-17 national team in Algarve, and the coach from the U-17 came up to me and says, "You don't belong here." And I began to panic. I thought he was, was going to put me on a plane and send me back to the United States of America. But what he meant was that you belong with the senior team, and we're preparing for a World Cup qualifier against Italy. So I was asked to meet them at the hotel, and Coach Queiroz and his staff and the president, the administrators, all were sitting down at a long table. It was like a scene out of The Godfather. I sat in this chair all alone, and they said, "We understand you'd like to work with our goalkeepers." And I said it would be my honor. And I tried to be relaxed, but inside I was doing all kinds of somersaults, as you can imagine, because I was waiting, and I've worked all my life for this one opportunity. And they all whispered in each other's ears, and it finally came back to me, "See you tomorrow at 9:30. Now, the training session starts at 10. But since Carlos Queiroz never seen me work, he had me start earlier, just in case I was an embarrassment, that he could prevent it from the team or the media. So that night, Sean, I went back to my room. I could tell you I didn't sleep a wink. I walked back and forth in my room. I called upon all kinds of powers that I could possibly imagine. And I thought about and I reflected on all the things that I needed to do, and with the support of the people, to get me to experience that one moment. Well, I went into the locker room and I was dressing with the goalkeepers, and Victor Bahia, who was #1 in Europe at that time, #4 in the world, said to me, "Look at this guy. He dresses better than we do." And I said, "You know, Victor, I won't ask anything of you that I'm not capable of doing." We went out to the field and we started going. And to this day, it was perhaps my best session, and I've never been able to duplicate it. Everything was lined up just right. The field players began to come out. Paul Foot at that time was what Cristiano Ronaldo is today. And the assistant coach was asking the team to meet them in the other half of the team. Well, instead, they sat in the corner and watched and observed and encouraged my session. My dad was behind the goal with the entire media. There was over 50 journalists and photographers, all speaking in Portuguese, ready to take me down after the session. They approached Victor Bahia and they asked, "What do you think?" And he said, "Dan Gaspar can coach goalkeepers anywhere on the planet." And because I received his blessing, Sean, they had to back off. And then it started from there.
Well, you know, you used an expression in your practice session you just had, and you never get a second chance to make a first impression. It seems that you lived that moment, and you made a fantastic impression on Carlos Queiroz and the Portugal national team. However, he wasn't there forever.
No, he wasn't.
And Felipe Scolari came in from the Brazil national team, another huge, big figure in international football. Was it a done deal? Did he just take you on? Or did you have to interview for that job with Scolari?
No, the transition period was seamless. At that level, it's the goalkeepers who collectively helped make that decision. And they were satisfied with my work. As you can see, I enforce developing relationships, honest and open, that are direct. And the goalkeepers supported my continuation.
How different was he from Carlos?
Different. Both effective, but different. Carlos Queiroz is an attention to detail professional, the ultimate professional. His assessment and breakdown of opponents is outstanding. His training sessions are what we learn in coaching schools. His interaction with the players are very positive. Tremendous communicator, motivator. Scolari, on the other hand, was more of a people person on a general level. And he was extremely loyal to the players he selected, regardless what they were going through at the time. He had players on the national team who were not playing for their clubs. But yet when he made a decision, he made that decision, he stuck by that decision, regardless of what happens to that player. The trust was unconditional, very spirited type of atmosphere, very relaxed, allowed the players the opportunity to express themselves, use their imagination, their fantasy, their creativity. So very loose, protected them from the media, and they knew that there was unconditional trust there under Scolari.
And in 2008, Carlos came back with the Portuguese national team. And you've continued to be involved all the way through since 1993.
Yes.
What was it like? Did you get an email? Did you get a letter? Did you get a phone call? I can't imagine how excited you were. Tell us about that moment when you knew that they had picked you to go to the World Cup.
It was an extremely emotional moment for me. It was one that I couldn't inform the public because the timing wasn't ready yet. But when I received that phone call, it was just, how can I explain it, Sean? It's like there's a bottle and it's full of emotions, and you take that cork out and everything pours out. Everything poured out for me at that moment. And I had the opportunity to share that moment with my wife. I had the opportunity to share that with my two boys, Jordan and Daniel, and they were so proud of me because they realized of all the sacrifices that I personally endured as well as they did. So it was something that you don't often achieve your ultimate dream. And that phone call allowed me to realize that dream. And once again, I'm just so grateful of that opportunity. I don't feel I'm special. I don't feel I'm better. I just feel that I have a unique opportunity that was given to me.
When do you leave?
I leave tomorrow.
Tell us a little bit about your travel plans. I mean, take us on this little journey for you from here till you get to the hotel in South Africa.
Well, we are going to be announcing the 23 players for the Portuguese World Cup roster on May the 10th. And we're going to do that in Covilhã. Covilhã is next to Serra da Estrela, which is the highest mountain in Portugal. The reason why we went to that environment is for altitude training. And once the names of the players are announced, then the players will arrive on the 14th of May. Some will be still involved with high-level competition, but we're expecting the majority of the numbers to come. It's going to be a media frenzy. As soon as you arrive in a country where football, soccer is completely immersed and entrenched, you know, as soon as a cab driver picks me up from the airport, he's going to know who I am, and we're going to have a debate. As soon as I get a little espresso coffee, we're going to start debating who are the players, why this one shouldn't have been chosen, why that one should have been chosen. Everyone from the young niece and nephew to the grandmother or grandfather will have an opinion on the Portuguese national team.
How big is the entourage for a national team?
It's enormous, especially when you have a player like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a megastar. He transcends soccer. The number of securities guards will be impressive. We have them on every floor, everywhere we walk. The photographers, the journalists, they have their designated areas out of respect. Training will be open for a certain amount of minutes, and then they must leave. There will be opportunities where the training session is open to the public and to the media, but that's all very carefully designed, very carefully calculated. And under Professor Queiroz's leadership, that's where the attention to detail is. When we selected the hotel, Carlos assembled his dream team staff, and we all, in our areas of expertise, evaluated the training arena, evaluated the hotel, evaluated the menu, evaluated the medical equipment, evaluated all the physiotherapy, all the regeneration equipment that's required. We travel with our own chef. So it's quite a movement of people, all with the interest of giving the players their privacy, their time, their space to really focus on what is the world's largest sporting event.
Will they take their wives and family with them to the World Cup, or is that allowed?
There's different philosophies with regards to that. With the Portuguese national team, the families won't be coming with them on the first day and participating in their journey until the end. There'll be selective times and dates where families and the players and the coaching staff will be able to interact and engage, because that's an important aspect of it as well. You want to isolate the player, but you got to be very cautious on not having them on their separate island, removed from reality. And the reality of family is extremely important. If the player's happy at home, then he's going to be able to produce on the field.
South Africa, this is not your first journey to South Africa.
No, it's not.
You've been there before with the national team. You've actually coached the South African national team and also experienced the opportunity to meet with Nelson Mandela. How was that?
You know, again, I'm so fortunate to have the opportunity to meet such special people. And certainly Nelson Mandela, out of all the people that I've met, has to be ranked among the top. In 2004, Carlos Queiroz was a South African national team coach, and I participated in their process for the African Nations Cup. During that process, the South African national team was invited to meet and greet Nelson Mandela, and we had the opportunity to have him share his journey to freedom after 29 years of incarceration. I remember, and I can feel that handshake today. And I often reflect back on it, Sean, when I think that I'm struggling with our issues. I realize how small, how minuscule that really is as compared to a Nelson Mandela. And he loved soccer. He loved soccer because the game of soccer represents diversity, represents cultures. And for him and his perspective, that's what he encourages as well.
Tell us a little bit about your group. You have Brazil, phenomenal team of all time, Korea, and the Ivory Coast with Sven-Goran Eriksson, the former English manager who took over Ivory Coast. Just a little bit about the group.
Well, they've tagged the group of death, Group G. Obviously, if they're doing that, the experts feel that that's the most challenging group. On the other hand, I feel all the groups, I think it's probably the most balanced World Cup in terms of group selections than ever in the past. We have to put into perspective, Sean, the World Cup process is a 2-year endeavor. It's 204 nations, 850 games, down to 32 teams representing their countries. So in my opinion, any one of those teams on a given day can beat a Brazil, and can beat an Argentina, and can beat a Spain, and can beat an England, can beat an Italy. Our game oftentimes is unjust, isn't it? It's probably, out of all the team sports, where you can produce major upsets more often than other team sports. So we're optimistic about our chances. We want to take care of business before we get to Brazil, obviously. We're taking the first game against Ivory Coast as really the World Cup match, minute by minute, half by half. We have to produce a positive result. Going into North Korea, we feel the same way, so that when we approach Brazil, it's a match that we can enter with some sort of comfort. Although when you have a Brazil and Portugal playing each other, the rivalry is very, very intense. No matter what the circumstances are, it's going to be a great game.
Take us a little bit briefly through a normal day at the World Cup camp. So let me live for a moment through your eyes when you wake up in the morning. What time do you wake up? What's the kind of a daily routine from moment to night? If you just briefly go over that for us.
Sure. One of the things that you quickly realize when you're at that level, whether it's a massive club or whether it's a national team representing their country, is that you are provided with the best of the best. Whether it's the food, whether it's the hotel conditions, whether it's the training equipment or field conditions. It's the best of the best. So as a professional, that's very gratifying, because whatever tools you need to generate the best out of, in this case, a Portuguese national team player, you have provided for you. You have a curriculum or manual that's given to you, specific times, specific snacks, specific rest times, specific meals. In this case, the World Cup is much more different than when you're going through the qualifying process. The qualifying process, you have just a few sessions to train and you play. Well, here we're going to have a month of preparation. It's very similar to a preseason in a big-time club, isn't it? So we'll have 2 sessions a day. There'll be plenty of rest time. There'll be, again, times allocated for the press. A player will be selected on a daily basis to speak to the press along with the coach. So those are the sort of things that it's very structured, extremely structured. And again, setting an atmosphere and an environment that's comfortable, that puts our players at ease, that tries to eliminate any surprises from occurring, so that they're in their zone, they're in their comfortable zone.
What will it mean to you, Danny, when you're standing, listening to the national anthem, the Portuguese national anthem in the World Cup, finally, at the gateway of your dreams, and knowing that Mary, Jordan, Daniel, all your peers, the University of Hartford, the whole of Connecticut, the whole United States, so that you're going to be a household name, and how much does that mean to you that you've got so much pride by all these people who are following you?
it means a great deal to me. And I'll probably react the same way that I did in 1993 when I was in the elbow with the Portuguese national team. And just tears just rolled down my face. Tears of happiness, tears of pride, tears of joy. I've memorized the Portuguese national team anthem, so I'm going to have a lot of pride in singing that. But I also have to share that I'm a proud, very proud American-born coach. My formal education was here in the United States. I always had the dream of going overseas, learning about the winning business of soccer in cultures that embrace the game. But my ultimate destination, my final destination, was always to come back to the United States, to my alma mater, to University of Hartford, and try to share my unique experiences that I've attained over the years. So to answer your question, I'm going to be extremely proud, and I hope the people that have crossed my paths, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in a clinic, whether it's in an email, whether it's in a clinic or instruction or wherever it may be, that they're also as proud as I am.
Well, Dan, we wish you a safe and successful trip to the World Cup. You know that you'll be there in person, but tons of people are going to be there in spirit supporting you. You know that all our viewers will take a big interest in watching Portugal in the World Cup and following you. And I'm sure that a lot of viewers here in the United States are going to be behind you 100%. We wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
If you have an idea or a suggestion, or would like to be a featured coach on The Coach Show, go to soccercoachtv.com and drop us a line. And don't forget to visit soccerclinics.com. With over 5,000 pages of coaching material, videos and animation, it's the largest soccer website in the world for youth coaching. Soccerclinics.com also provides the world's first ever online coaching license with the International Bronze License. Thousands of coaches in over 100 countries have benefited from soccerclinics.com. So check it out today. So we have
Soccer Coach TV, where coaches live.